So, welcome, smile for the grenade, camera go bang. I'm Josh Marpet, otherwise known as Quadling, and this is Vlad Gostom, otherwise known as Recompiler. We're whack job security guys. We do everything you can imagine and then some. We are literally the people that do everything. Vlad has held every pen testing job in the business and created some of the pen testing jobs in the business. I've done everything in physical security you can imagine, and some of you probably can't. I'm an ex-cop, and ex-everything is the way it goes. We both work in physical and information security, and we have a good time doing it. And we love doing things that cross that over. This is our stuff, not our employers, not our friends, not our families. Don't blame them, please God. Don't call our employers and go, hey, I saw that cool grenade presentation. Won't go over very well at all. This is our stuff. Lawyer time over. Okay, let's talk about cameras. There have been wireless cameras for decades. Some of them wireless in only a very metaphorical sense. Okay, it is wireless. The camera that caught the Kennedy assassination, notice it's getting smaller. Smaller yet, not exactly tiny, but it's getting smaller. Okay, this is a camera that fits in a briefcase now. That's not bad. We're getting there. Hey, it's still a wireless camera. It actually still records onto physical media. Anybody have a Mavica here? Well, not now. I mean, did you have one at any time in the past? A few of you did. Okay. Nowadays, it's scary. For $70 from what site? You can get a Wi-Fi or wireless network surveillance pan tilt zoom camera with 10 LED IR night vision and a microphone. So not only can you spy on your neighbors, you can hear them. Anyway, so these things, they started militarizing surveillance cameras a while ago. This thing makes me sound like I'm hissing like crazy. They started militarizing surveillance cameras a while back. This is one that's currently being used in the sandbox or the litter box, depending on what you call it. It's in mine clearing mode right now. That's literally a mine clearing line of explosives. They have this, which is a 1,000,000 round a minute 40mm grenade launcher. No, we didn't bring one. God, you guys are sick. They also make unmanned flying vehicles, which are of course wireless as well. It's kind of tough to have a 3-mile wire. Okay? And there's all these different kinds. Some of these are armed, some of these are unarmed. These are all different kinds. And this is a great website if you're interested in how they're looking and watching down on you when you're nude sunbathing in the backyard now. Not that anybody would want to watch most of you sunbathing nude. Just saying. And I'm including myself in that, by the way. So they even have cool things. Let's see if this runs. Nope, didn't run. But that's a video of a RC helicopter outfitted with a 1911 with a Glock 19? Glock 19? With a Glock 19, which fires on command from the I think it's an Xbox controller. Yeah. That's not a good idea. Okay, just FYI. They even have unmanned marine vehicles, some of which, by the way, are armed. So this idea of wireless cameras going in different places is starting to percolate through a lot of different battlefields, if that makes sense. And that's why we did this. Because we decided to see, yeah, by the way, that's why they're armed. I mean, because we all know about this, right? Am I that ugly?
In case you get hungry.
That's a bet, and I take bets. Don't do that. Okay, inspection cameras. They have cameras that will just 2 feet for an inspection camera. They've been doing this for 20 years. Fiber optic cameras. This is interesting. This will go 1,000 feet down a pipe, and you can see on the other end of the pipe. That's what they use it for. Could they put it through an air duct in your wall and see at the other end of your air duct? They could. Not that I mean to make you paranoid. You're already paranoid. But it happens. Okay, so they even have throwable ones. That one's about the size of a, like the little mini pizza boxes you get when you have 2 slices, because we all know how pizza comes. And the iRobots, which we were just showing you, the throwable ones, are very hackable. Vlad, we'll tell you about that.
Yeah, so people actually play Frogger with these on highways. They program the robot to try and avoid cars and cross Route 80 in Pennsylvania. Tons of fun to watch. Don't run mine over. Would actually like to commend iRobot. They're very hackable, and they release all sorts of information for them, for developers to mess with them. There's also throwable cameras for use by SWAT teams for throwing into buildings for hostage rescue situations. And of course, to get into the really fun stuff, which is pertinent to our talk, the ballistic cameras.
All right, ballistic cameras are from an Israeli company named Rafael Land Systems. It's called the Firefly camera system. There's a couple of articles on it. Basically, it's a camera that comes out of a 40-millimeter grenade launcher. It goes 600 meters that way, or pick a direction, and it has fins. Is it the next slide? Yep. It has fins that come out that stabilize it, so the camera's always watching down, and it shows the Marines or the Army or whatever what's going there in this next 600 meters of their walking or whatever. Is there an IED? Is there a sniper? Is there a whatever? That's a great idea, except at the end of it, it hits the ground and goes boom, ballistic decommissioning. It doesn't explode, but you hit a nice computer from 600 meters up and drop it to the ground. Is it going to work afterwards? Not normally. And by the way, it ain't cheap. We'll talk about that in a bit. But you can't have the Firefly system. That's what demand says. Why? 40-millimeter grenade launcher, destructive device. Very expensive, very, 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 very restricted. Okay? So we decided to do it ourselves. We wanted to make it something that civilians could have, that was cheaper, make it in the do-it-yourself make spirit, okay, and all kudos to make. For search and rescue, airsoft, SWAT teams, just because. We wanted to try. What the heck, right? You never get anywhere unless you try. So we tried.
Before we get further into the system, we want to cover safety. I'm sure all of you have heard somebody say or know somebody who said, "Hey, all, watch this."
If your puke response is low,
Close your eyes now. That's actually a 37-millimeter launch gone wrong for somebody. Safety. You can buy commercial 37-millimeter and 40-millimeter rounds. You should never, ever disassemble them. It is very dangerous. Primers have been known to cook off. Don't attempt to build a system yourself unless you know exactly what you're doing. Email us. We'll be happy to share information with you. We're encouraging people to make their own stuff and to build their own stuff.
We have literally years of experience with firearms, reloading, launchers. We just don't do this. Call us, email us, smoke signal, something. Don't do this. I can't say that enough times. Okay? This is what happens. This is what happened to the guy whose hand you saw a minute ago. All right? Talk about this for a second.
So somebody was actually building fireworks for 4th of July and shooting them off in front of their family. That launcher in the picture is actually a similar launcher to the one you see on the table after an explosion. The guy lost most of his hand, 3.5 fingers. We believe that he double charged it. If you double charge it, which means you use too much propellant, you actually inadvertently create a destructive device, an unregistered destructive device, which is highly illegal, as in jail time and huge fines. Safety. Anytime you fire the launcher, even with flares, you never ever want to have your hand in front of the firing pin or around the actual flare. That tube right there is actually what contains the round. You saw the hand. You don't want to have your hand there. Proper safety equipment, fire retardant clothing, eye and ear protection. It does get very loud. Even a flare can create about 120 decibels, which is enough to damage your hearing.
That's the right way.
So yes, even when shooting flares, I know I may look retarded or paranoid. That's what you want to be doing. Another right and wrong slide. That's actually the same launcher mounted on an AR-15.
Okay, let me do this. So, you got a guy stacked up, waiting to go in a house, right? SWAT team. Hey, what's that around the side? What's going on? I can't see because we're all stacked up and we look like sardines and fish in a barrel, and you know what happens to fish in a barrel, right? Okay, cool. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to have this guy shoot one of those, shooting this, to put a camera up above everybody to find this one. The dangerous kitten sniper. Well, you probably wouldn't. But what you might find is one of these. And if you find one of these, your guys are in trouble, right? Okay, what do? Well, you look at the guy in front of you. The guy in front of you has a receiver, which of course I neglected to actually pull out. But the receiver is this big. This is a DVR. It records, it shows, battery powered. This is great. Velcro it to the back of the guy in front of you on the stack. And so the camera, our green flare logo, is sending information to the guys in the stack, and it's also sending information back to the long-range receiver on the short-range receiver, and it's also sending information on the long-range receiver back to the mobile command center. Hook that up to an 80-inch plasma, you can get some detail out of it. You can find your kitten sniper. So it works really well, and we said, wow, this is actually a good idea. So what do we want? This is what we want. Now what features do we want? We want it in 37 millimeters so civilians can own it easily. That's not even a firearm. That's not even a Title I firearm. It is a flare launcher. 5.8 gigahertz cameras, pretty good range, not a very cluttered spectrum, not hugely cluttered. The shells are hand-loaded at the moment. We wanted a parachute so we could hang. Remember, the Firefly system, 600-meter arc, right? We wanted to see over one house, so we wanted to go up and hang. All right, about 400-meter range, urban search and rescue, disaster, SWAT teams, airsoft. He's done ground search and rescue. There's places you can't reach, now I can. That's pretty cool, okay? You get the idea, we've seen this.
Some capabilities based on Millimeter and MATLAB. We are projecting you should be able to hit 400 to 600 meters vertically and about 400 meters horizontally with the system. Keep in mind this is a very low pressure system, only 25,000 psi, meaning it's low pressures compared to, let's say, a howitzer.
This is just a graphic of the shell. Keep going.
So, why is our system not a destructive device? One of the very important things that makes our system not a destructive device is the fact that it's a life safety device. It's not meant to be anti-personnel. We're not shooting this at people. We're not shooting at buildings. We're shooting it straight up to try and find people and try to help people. Also, our system has signaling capabilities. We're working on an IR beacon. Another very important factor is the amount of charge we're using. We're using less than 6 grains of powder, which is more than 20% below what would make it a destructive device. Here are a few variants of the launchers. Going back to World War II, we have the 26.5 millimeter variants and the 40 millimeter variants, as well as the 12 gauge variants. Recently, there's been a lot more that have been developed thanks to the Future Warrior Combat System, as well as the 6 and 8 shot variants. And of course, the lovely corner shot system you see.
Okay, so now we're in the design phase. We know what we want it to do. We know what we want to mimic. How do we build the freaking thing? Okay, well, a lot of trial and error. We're still in the trial and error phase. I just want to warn you. We've got to find cameras. We've got to find recorders. We've got to find field recorder, command center recorder, power source, payload recovery system, launcher shell. Holy crap, we got a lot of stuff to do. We tried it all. We're still in the process of trying it all. There might be better things out there, okay? This is the capabilities we wanted for it. We wanted a 600-meter vertical shot. We'll aim for 600. If we get 300, we're happy, okay? We want to fire over a 5-story building for urban search and rescue, 400-meter horizontal range. These are pretty cool things. This is pretty ambitious, right? This is what we wanted. We might not